let's do some math. Let's do some basic addition. So we're going to start by loading val1. So we're going to load value 1 into our register. And let's define that. That's going to be a global memory. And that's going to be an int. Okay? And now we want to go ahead and add that guy to value 2. So we also need to load val2 into our register. So we've got a couple of registers active now. Let's define tag. That's going to be an int. And that's going to be global memory, define. And whatever those two are, we want to go ahead and add those together. So plus I. And then we want to save that. And we're going to save that as value 3. So we're going to transfer that to val3. Right click on that. Define tag. And let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and just make that global as well, just in case we end up using it for something else. Okay, so hey, let's throw this thing onto the processor and take a look. So we're loaded up here, and we're going to go into our watch table. Let's wipe out that stuff that we had from the last lecture and start putting in our val1, val2, and val3. And look at that, we've got 0, 0, 0. So as soon as we start updating these values for 1 and 2, we should see 3 immediately start to do something. So let's go ahead and send in a 5, and boom, value 3 is already 5. And then let's go and throw in a 95 for val2, and boom, look at that, value 3 is 100. Okay, so yay, that quickly we've already learned how to do math in here. And look at that, 4 lines of code to add 2 numbers together and save them somewhere. I mean, man, you know, that's just not even that's not even short. So now let's run a check and let's see. We already know that we have value 3 in our register. Now, you know, let's go ahead and let's do a comparison. Let's see if value 3 is greater than 1,000. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to clear out our registers so we don't have to worry about what's in register 1 and what's in register 2. Let's come down here and we're going to load val3, and then we're also going to load 1,000. All right, and let's see if 1,000 is less than value 3. So we're going to do a less than I, and that's going to basically put a true or false into our register. And at that point we can do a JC, and we can say true story. Come down here, true story, colon, and then we'll set, and we'll create a tag that's called val3 greater. And at the end of that, we'll want to end the block, right click, define that tag, Boolean and global memory. And then here we'll have a unconditional jump, and we'll go not quite right. Let's copy that. Not quite right, colon R. We're going to reset our val3 greater. Okay, so now we've got an indicator which is going to tell us whether val3 is greater than or less than 1,000. So let's dump this into the processor. go to our watch table and let's see where we're at. So we need to pull in our val3 grader to observe that. And right now it's saying that it is true. So it looks like I got my logic reversed. Let's go back into there and so we're asking if val3 is less than 1000 rather than greater than. So just got my sign reversed. Not a big deal. Okay, load it. Back to the watch table. And there we go. So val3 is not greater than 1000. But what if we make this 999 and we load that? Now all of a sudden that's val3 is 1004 and it is greater than 1000. And if we put that back down to 50, sure enough, you can see it says it's false again. So let's come back into our program. And what did we do here? One, we've learned we can load a couple of different values into registers and then add them together. And just like we can plus I, we can also minus I, multiply I, divide I. So that's how we can do mathematical functions in here. The one thing to remember is, you can't do a big equation on one line. You have to do bit by bit, one step at a time. The next thing we did is whenever we wanted to move a value, we used the T to transfer. And we took what was in our register and we transferred it to value 3. And coming down here, the same thing, we can do our mathematical operations, plus I, minus I, and that's actually replacing the value in our register with the result of that math. Well, down here, we can use our comparators in front of a capital I. And what we're doing with those is we're replacing our register with a Boolean value, either true or false. So at this point, I've got two things loaded in registers. I've got value 3 and I've got the number 1000. But after I run this instruction, what I have loaded in my register is the value true or the value false. And based on that, I can do a conditional jump or not do a conditional jump and then do an unconditional jump to my default place, my backup place. So